Yeah.
All right.
We would have had the Sydney Fringe on at the moment. We would have had 370 shows across Sydney in September this year, about 1,500 artists across 30 days. We've had to cancel. We have the magic word pivoted, a smaller program online.
For the second year in a row, the Sydney Fringe Festival, which generates $12 million revenue each year, is crowdless due to the pandemic.
It feels a bit strange doing a virtual concert. I mean, you get some of the feelings, but it does miss a lot of the action, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's lucky that we're doing this together.
Even for these recorded performances, precautions for artists like Alice Terry and Billy McCarthy and on-site crew are necessary but demanding.
Having a virtual performance, it just requires a whole different level of organisation. So basically, you've got to have your negative COVID tests. You have to have a whole lot of different sort of legislation and red tape in play.
Just how the impending return of crowds to indoor venues like Sydney's old 505 Theatre will host the vaccinated and unvaccinated after the lockdown ends is another source of anxiety.
I'll kind of do whatever it takes to get back to work.
Yeah,
so if the government and the health professionals say, we need you to do this in order to put on a show, to have a capacity that's actually worth performing to and not having a half crowd, half fee, everything, then I'll kind of follow whatever rule comes because I just want to get back to it.
Same.
Although the concept of providing proof of your vaccination status to join with a live audience at a venue or theatre like this one is new, vaccine mandates themselves are not. We used to carry around these little yellow books, proof of our vaccination status, to enter certain countries in a bygone era of international travel. And while the Commonwealth Government believes that vaccination should be voluntary for most people, over in the United States, they're taking a vaccine mandate to a whole new level.
COVID-19 has been hitting this country hard. Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated.
Only 54% of the US population is fully vaccinated, putting the country behind Brazil, Japan and Germany. Here at the San Francisco International Airport, normally one of the busiest in the nation, things are slowly returning to normal in a city and state with a higher than average vaccination rate.
Right now we've recovered about half of our pre-pandemic activity levels.
While there's no mandate for passengers to be vaccinated, the Biden administration is demanding that tens of millions of government workers either get vaccinated or submit to regular COVID-19 testing. It's a massive undertaking in a workplace like this, which has 47,000 workers under one roof, reporting to many different employers.
You've got companies that prepare the food that goes on board the aircraft. You've got retailers, you've got concessions, you've got shops and restaurants, you've got federal agencies, TSA, US Customs, CDC, FBI, DEA.
Some of the biggest non-government employers in the United States, such as Ford, McDonald's and Microsoft, have followed the government's lead, with some or all staff being told to get vaccinated. For smaller businesses, imposing a vaccine mandate could be more challenging.
It's not really the law or the rules themselves that create the legal risk. We've seen, and this is particularly true, we're finding with these vaccine rules, that it's the implementation. It's decisions made by managers and supervisors, or what they say and don't say to their employees and teams.
The US government's decision has emboldened this airport to act.
We will be instituting a mandate that makes it mandatory for all employers at SFO to have their employees vaccinated. That basically means that if a Starbucks employee is going to be working at SFO, they need to either be vaccinated or have been granted an exemption by Starbucks. It's really the first time that a US airport has done a program like this.
In this country, a patchwork of mandates has emerged in certain sectors and industries. That's created tensions within some trade unions, tensions that boiled over in Melbourne last week.
This is all about the vaccine.
processor SPC became the first Australian company to make vaccination mandatory for its employees, and the backlash was swift.
We had an absolute abusive avalanche of messages, not to mention all the abusive messages that came to myself, my family, racial slurs, you name it. The majority of the push came from that fringe end of society. The majority of businesses and people in society, we had a fantastic amount of support.
Mandate it's a very, very touchy subject, and being a realist, encouraging is the way to go, to encourage your workers to do it. Educating and understanding would far work better, in my opinion, would work a lot better than having a mandate. But in saying that, the workers here at SPC have come on board and we have got a great, phenomenal success rate.
SPC say that 99% of their 545 staff have either registered for vaccination or have received 1 or 2 doses, and say only 2 employees have refused, in a mandate criticised by the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union as discriminatory and unworkable.
Things like, what if your employees can't access the vaccine? Would you sack them? Of course not. This is not a punishment issue. It is, I'm trying to help them stay safe.
It remains to be seen whether the pushback that is coming now from trade unions across Australia will bring the government, the federal government in particular, to enter this field. What it does mean, of course, in the short and medium term is that litigation is almost guaranteed.
Employment barrister Ian Neal says the federal government can and should clarify the law rather than leaving mandates to businesses.
You know, we're not a country that mandates vaccines, and we're a country that respects the individual rights and liberties of our citizens.
The federal government seems unwilling to mandate vaccination, although it has the power to do so for most employees and indeed many people throughout Australia. By and large, the issue has been left to employers to take the responsibility and the risk.
I would gladly take it all.
For this year's Sydney Fringe Festival, the freedom to return to normal is freedom worth accepting risk over.
So if passports are the way to go, if the rapid antigen testing before coming in is the way to go, whatever they decide, I think we'll be happy just to be getting back along with it. So.
Yeah, we just want to go to work.
Yeah.
Really.
And the crowd goes wild! Oh, empty rooms.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.